This is going to be the final overview of the Ascend 133X fishing kayak. Um, just my rigging modifications and final thoughts. We'll start in the back. I've got an Ascend tournament paddle just as a backup in case my motor dies or stops working. I've got it on some Yak Attack paddle holders. I had those on my 12T. I love them. They've never let me down. It's really easy to just reach back and snap it down. Moving forward, I've got some bungees that came with the kayak. I honestly don't know why. I don't really like them, but they kind of do keep the crate from sliding around. But it also pushes it into my battery box, which I'm not a fan of. This is just where I keep my extra rods and extra baits that I can't fit in the tackle box. Moving forward, here's a Minn Kota digital onboard charger. It's really nice because then I can get home. I don't have to open the battery box. I just plug it in. It's just sheer laziness, but I like convenience. Moving forward from that, we have the new chair from Ascend. It's only comfortable if it's pretty much straight up and down, at least for me. Other than that, there's like no lumbar support depending on how you're sitting. I also noticed that it's starting to fall apart already. There's like little seat stops that are supposed to go here, and one of them is already missing. So I'll have to contact Ascend about that. Underneath the chair comes with a little tray. You can put your extra baits and stuff there. Stuff you use for the day that you don't want floating around the kayak, stepping on them. Underneath of that, there is a bunch of Yak Power. I put these red LEDs for just deck lighting in the morning or at night. They were super easy to install. They're literally just a 3.5 headphone jack, and they're watertight. The only ones that got the backing nut on them, though, were these front ones, because that's the only ones I could access. But that's the beauty of them, is you can just tighten them down with, I can't remember what size socket. I want to say it was like a 5/8. So I have 3 sets of them. I got some in the tank well, some under the seat, and then I've got 2 more up here. They do a great job of lighting up the kayak at night. I'll put a picture of the kayak on the lake at the end of the video so you can see how bright they are. But you completely retain your night vision, which is important, obviously. Moving forward, I've got my Lowrance Hook 3X. It's nothing fancy, but I get depth, temperature, and I can mark fish with it, so that kind of helps. Here is the co-pilot remote. This is what I use to run the trolling motor. It's super easy. If you guys have watched any videos on these, you know how to work them. It's literally just like working your TV. In here, it's a bit of a mess, but I don't use it for anything other than a life jacket and my battery box. This is where the Yak Power unit sits in my Pelican battery box that I made. That's super easy to do. There's cheaper ways to do it, though. All the Yak Power stuff comes with like 12 foot of cable. I guess it's for having enough slack if you have to run it through things. I don't know. Their stuff's phenomenal. Like, I'll always use it, but you have to tie up a ton of cables. Moving forward from that, it's my Minn Kota power drive. It's a 45-pound thrust, 48-inch shaft, which could be shortened, but really there's no reason to. I mean, that's where I run it, and I have no issues. I can still see over it. Here's the Minn Kota quick disconnect plate, which you have to have. I would not put this motor on here permanently because it's so heavy to move the kayak, and it's just a pain. And then here are my Yak Power nav lights, and I'm gonna probably get the Yak Power lightning rod. I would strongly recommend Yak Power. I'm a huge fan of them. This is the first time I've used their stuff, and it was just so easy to install and super high quality. I've had no issues. It's all bright, it all works good. We'll see how it holds up, but I don't foresee any issues. My final thoughts on this kayak, though. I mean, I should have just bought a boat. I have probably $2,500 into this. Not that I can buy a nice boat for that, but it's a pain in the ass to get transporting. I have to put it on a 12-foot trailer, which it barely fits on. I have to strap it down every which way so it doesn't slide off. I have to take the motor off. I have to take the battery out. I have to take the seat off. I have to take the crate out. I have to take the paddles off. Put it all in the truck bed. Get there, put the kayak in the water, and then just put everything back on it. So I'm basically re-rigging the kayak every time I put it in or out of the water. If that's what you're into, or you plan on spending 8 hours, on the water and want to be comfortable, this is definitely the kayak. I can stand on this. If it was wide enough, I could probably do jumping jacks. I mean, the thing's a tank. I was in chop water the other day. This thing wasn't even taking on splash. It was phenomenal how stable this thing is. Ascend did an amazing job, but this is not a puddle jumper. This is like you're dedicating hours of your day to go fishing, or you're just leaving it at a dock somewhere. I'm definitely going to pick up an Ascend 10T for those little puddles that I used to fish that now I can't even get this thing into. All rigged up. I'd say this thing's probably around, I'd say at least 200 pounds. So you're not carrying it by yourself. It's even hard with two people. Actually, if you noticed, the Husky sawhorses are gone because they broke. Luckily, the kayak didn't fall. Yeah, all in all, super happy with Ascend. This is my third or fourth Ascend. A couple of my buddies have them. They all love them. They're great kayaks. They're made by Tracker or White something Marine Group. And then the Yak Power, obviously, that stuff's, I mean, kind of a staple. I'm not familiar with any other kayak brands other than the crap on Amazon that's from China. And Minn Kota, of course. This thing's a tank. I had this in some skinny water, skipping over logs, skipping through lily pads, and it never once stopped running. I was able to get through everything, even in this giant boat. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment. I'll try to get back to you. But yeah.